And nigga, be real to yourself before you real with anybody else. YouTube, what's the big old deal, man? It's y'all favorite hood partner, Big NINABOY, man. I came across this video, my black girl gone, man. This is a story of Ella Goodie, man. So with that being said, let's jump into it, man. Y'all know how I get down. Y'all be the judge, I'll be the jury. Let's go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go.
On this episode of Black Girl Gone, I bring you an update to the story of Ella Goodie, who has been missing since March 9th, 2022. Ella, who was 33 years old at the time, was last seen in Scott, Louisiana, where she lived with her 2 children. She had recently begun driving for Lyft and started offering rides outside the app. The day she went missing, she was supposed to drive someone to Houston, Texas, and was expected to be back by the time her daughters arrived home from school. But Ella never came back home, and no one ever saw her again. Almost 3 years later, the person responsible for her disappearance has finally been charged. This is Ella's story. This week, I bring you yet another update on a cold case that we covered back in January 2023. When I first covered Ella's story, she had been missing for 11 months at the time, and there seemed to be a lot of information surrounding her disappearance. However, police seem to be having difficulty locating enough information about.
Wow, this is crazy, man. When we hear these type of stories, man, this make you tell all your family members, listen, man, especially the young women that's driving. You don't know who getting in that back of that car. That's why I say a lot of these independent drivers should be paid way more money than what they're getting paid, because you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You see what I'm saying? That's going to come inside your car. You see what I'm saying? That is definitely a safety hazard. If you got some loved ones out there, man, y'all sit them down. Y'all had these type of talks, because you don't know the person from Adam to Eve. You know what I'm saying? Or you just don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? You saw with somebody, look, 33 years old, 5'3", 168 pounds. Come on, man. She was a little girl. You know what I'm saying? A little person, Yeah, man, that's sad, but at the same time, we got to see what's going on. It's good that we got content like this so we can know what's out there, man, because it's a lot of stuff that happened that we just don't know. Let's go.
What happened to her to charge anyone or to locate her. But last week, the Louisiana State's Attorney announced that Brandon Francisco had been indicted for the murder of Ella. According to the press release from the Louisiana State's Attorney, quote, United States Attorney Brandon B. Brown announced that a federal grand jury in Lafayette has returned an indictment charging Brandon Jermaine Francisco, 38, of Mansoura, Louisiana, with carjacking, resulting in the death of Ella Goodie. In addition to the 1 count of carjacking resulting in death, the indictment charges Francisco with 1 count of using a firearm during the commission of a crime of violence, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and 1 count of flight to avoid prosecution.
Man, come on, man. This dude, look at this, man. Then you got black on your t-shirt, man. So you tried to rob this young lady, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, look. It was no way she could have won that. You see what I'm saying? Look at that dude right there, man. It was impossible for her to even win. I'm pretty sure she probably tried to defend herself, but yeah, man, you can see it's clear as day. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? So we got black men out here robbing women for their cars, bro. Why you don't go rob a dude? See, most dudes don't try to rob a dude because another dude will pull out pull out that fire on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he wasn't doing that. Yeah, that to me is just a coward way. Let's go.
Execution. The indictment alleges that on or about March 9th, 2022, Francisco, with the intent to cause death and serious bodily harm, took a 2012 Audi Q5 sport utility vehicle from the victim, Ella Goodie, by force, violence, and intimidation, resulting in the death of the victim. It also alleged that on March 9th, 2022, Francisco knowingly used and discharged a handgun, 9mm caliber firearm, during and in relation to a crime of violence, which in this case is carjacking. It is further alleged in the indictment that Francisco possessed the handgun, the 9mm caliber, with 4 rounds of ammunition on or about March 25th, 2022, knowing he had previously been convicted of a felony crime. The indictment also alleges that from on or about March 9th, 2022, until on or about March 25th, 2022, the Western District of Louisiana, Francisco traveled in interstate commerce with the intent to avoid prosecution under the laws of the state of Louisiana for a crime punishable by death under the laws of the state of Louisiana, unquote. Francisco's arrest is welcome news for Ella's family, who had been desperately searching for justice. However, Ella's body has not been found, and so there are still.
Oh, whoa! She got her. See, this got to be an old picture because remember on the other picture, it looked like she just had her teeth done because it looked like she missing one on the side right there too. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just, I just don't see what was the point of killing her, bro. You didn't what? What did you get out of killing her? Did she try to fight you? Did she hit you in your mouth too hard? Like, what possessed that dude to take her life? Let's go.
Many unanswered questions. Those who have listened to Ella's story may remember Brandon Francisco because he was the last person to see Ella alive, and at the time of his indictment, he was already serving a 30-year sentence for an unrelated crime. He had always been a person of interest in this case, but now that he has been indicted, we know that he, in fact, was responsible for whatever really happened to Ella. For those who haven't heard Ella's story or forgot the details, we are re-releasing it along with this update. Ella is originally from Lafayette, Louisiana, a city located about an hour from Baton Rouge. She had grown up there with her mother and her younger brother. Her best friend Felicia spoke with Dateline last year to talk about Ella's disappearance, and she told them that Ella's mom is disabled, and so ever since she was a kid, Ella took care of her and helped take care of her little brother. Quote, she had to step up as a kid, look after her brother, help her mama, Felicia told Dateline. She said that from the moment that she met Ella, she wanted to look after her because life was a little bit harder for her. But she also said that no matter what Ella was going through, she always had a quote-unquote good spirit. Her cousin Amy said in a different interview with the local Fox News station that, quote, she's a pure-hearted girl, and like she's strong, she's brave. She just has a good heart, like she's always friendly with everybody, always happy. Now, there isn't a lot of public information about Ella's life, and so we don't have details about her teenage years or her early adulthood. We do know that by the time Ella was in her 30s, she was the mother of 2 girls, and she was living in a small town of Scott, Louisiana, which is located in Lafayette Parish. Felicia told Dateline that in early 2022, Ella was looking for work. And she said that she suggested that she try working for a rideshare service like Lyft. Felicia said that at first, Ella was apprehensive about doing it because she didn't want people getting in her car. However, Felicia said that she was able to convince Ella that she should do it. And so Ella began driving for Lyft. And while initially she had concerns about it, eventually she started to like it. After a couple months, Ella had decided that she would offer people rides outside of the app. She probably realized that she could just cut out the middleman and offer people rides directly. If she had met people through the app that she had given rides to a few times, then why not have them just contact her directly to maximize her profits?
Let me show you how we do stuff around here.
Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good.
A work management tool? No, that's not for me.
Well, Monday.com is all about flexibility, so you can make it.
On Tuesday, March 8th, 2022, Felicia said that she spoke to Ella on the phone. She said that they had a normal conversation, that they talked about their weekend plans, and Ella told her about the people that she had been meeting and driving places.
All right, see, that's the problem right there. That's why they got guidelines, they got regulations. You see what happened? You know, but what did that tell y'all? That tell y'all that the drivers don't make enough money. It's clear as day. You see what I'm saying? Where she was willing to risk her safety. Yeah, you might have took that dude to where he needs to go to around the city and all that. But then when somebody call you and say take him to another state, what was the whole point of that? What was the point? You get it. I would only think you have to pick up this person, you take them to the next state over, and then you trying to carjack them so you can. That was just crazy. That was crazy. You had babies. You did it by yourself, man. You know that I think they need to start upping that pay, man, because these drivers they beat up their vehicles. A lot of Uber and Lyft drivers, they beat up their vehicles to take these people places. You see what I'm saying? And they not getting reimbursed like that for the cars, the insurance. That's a dangerous job, bro. I think them dudes should probably pay more. You see what I'm saying? Let's go.
Now, we don't really know what happened next, but on March 9th, the following day, Ella was contacted by someone who needed a ride to Houston, Texas. According to reports, that morning, Ella left her home in Scott. However, we don't know what time. Now, according to her family, she called her daughters after she left and told them to get ready for school and make sure that they went. Ella told them that she was heading to Houston to drop someone off and that she would be back by the time they got back from school. The drive from Scott to Houston is about 3 hours, so round trip, it's about a 6-hour drive. And depending on what time she had left, Ella would have easily been back later that afternoon. Now, later that day, Ella called her brother around noon, and she told him that she was driving someone to Houston and that everything was fine. She told them that they had stopped to get gas, but it was the last time that anyone in Ella's family ever spoke to her again. That afternoon, Ella didn't return home like she said she would. Felicia said that she called Ella on the 9th, but that she didn't get an answer, and Ella never called her back. She said the next day, after still not hearing from Ella, she called Ella's oldest daughter, and she said she asked her to tell her mom to call her. Now, Felicia said the girls didn't mention that they had not seen their mom since Tuesday. It's not clear if the girls were home or if they were with someone else, but it wasn't until Felicia called them back on Friday that she learned that Ella had not come home. By the time Felicia knew anything was wrong, no one had seen or spoken to Ella in days. On March 11th, 2022, after no one was able to reach her, Ella's brother filed a missing persons report. When police received the report and learned from her family about Ella's trip to Texas, they started their search to locate her by reviewing surveillance cameras along the route that she would have driven. And right away, they were able to locate Ella's black Audi Q5 traveling on the highway towards Houston in the early morning hours of March 9th. And then 12 hours later, cameras again captured Ella's car. And this time, it was heading back towards Louisiana. The following day, March 10th, her car is again spotted on surveillance. But this time, it's back in Texas, north of Dallas. Now, from the pictures of Ella's vehicle, it appears as if the windows are tinted. And so I'm not sure if police were able to identify who.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all see what these new cameras do? Y'all think these new cameras ain't really doing nothing, but they can spot you on them highways when you get off, where you go, them streets, them gas stations. There's cameras everywhere. Yes, our government have cameras everywhere. They can spot you. The technology that we got, man, listen, homie, y'all better be careful with these crimes if y'all think about committing them, because that is All it takes is for somebody to file a report and they get that license plate number, they on that ass. You see what I'm saying? Too bad they didn't catch the dude while she was still alive, man. You know what I'm saying? But it was no way her family could have knew. You know, but the smartest thing to me, what I think she did, was she let her family know what she was doing, what she was on, where she was going. And that's the best thing you can do when you taking risks like that. Let somebody know that, you know, yeah, man, I'm in a car with some strangers, man. I'm going to drop them off. I want to know, how much money was it? What somebody say, I'll give you $100 to take me to a 3. That ain't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Man, Louisiana, an hour drive, $100? Man, no. That, if you look at it, yeah, that's it better been $1,000 or something, because if she took that, that would have been crazy. Let's go.
Who was driving the car when it was seen, but the movement of the vehicle was suspicious. First, it's seen driving to Texas, which is consistent with what Ella's family and friends knew about her taking someone to Houston. But then, 12 hours later, it's seen traveling back to Louisiana. But Ella never comes back home. And then the following day, her car is back in Texas, this time near Dallas. Ella's family had also informed police that she was supposed to be taking someone to Houston. And so police began to focus on who that person was. And they learned that the person who asked Ella to take them to Houston was a man named Brandon Francisco. Now, how they learned about Brandon is not known, and her family in the early days after her disappearance were not sure how Ella even knew Brandon. But her cousin later said that he was someone that she had given rides to a few times and was someone that she felt comfortable with. But now Ella was missing, and the last person known to have seen her was Brandon. Once Brandon was discovered as being the last person to see Ella, he immediately became a person of interest. Ella's devastated family began searching for themselves while police tried to figure out what happened.
Loom's superpower is amplifying you, opening up a new world of productivity, focus.
Soon, the local media in and around Lafayette began to pick up the story of Ella's disappearance. In the week after her disappearance, Ella's family spoke to the media to spread awareness about what was happening. And in an interview with KATC3, her Aunt Rose made this plea.
Know that your family is never, ever is going to give up on you. We're going to look for you until God say, tell us one way or the other. But we're here for you. So please, Ella, whatever you can do to get away, find a way, please.
Her family was worried, but they were hopeful that Ella would be found safe. Her cousin said this.
Hopefully, no, we're not expecting any type of foul play. All we want is for her to come home safe. And whomever you are, if you're watching this, all we ask is that you turn yourself in and let her go.
On March 16th, 2022, police announced that Brandon Francisco was officially a person of interest in Ella's disappearance. They also asked for the public's help in locating him because he had an active warrant for failure to show up to court. They also set up a social media page called Help Find Ella, which they used to spread information and to keep people up to date. Both Ella and her car were missing, and her cell phone had last pinged, according to police, in Iowa, Louisiana. And so her family organized searches there too. Her friend Felicia spoke to KLFY 10 about their efforts to find Ella.
I was last seen in Iowa. Her truck was last seen in Dallas, so we're just gonna start in Iowa and go from there. We don't even have the exact location the cops didn't give us though.
But her family and friends early on felt like the police were not doing enough to search for Ella. Felicia expressed her frustration about the lack of urgency on behalf of the police, saying this.
There's a lot of people that went missing in Lafayette, and they had way more help than we getting with Ella. They had airplanes in the sky, dogs on the ground, and they had boats in the water. We don't have nobody. We pulled up, we asked everybody for help.
The same day that Felicia gave that interview, the police announced that the FBI and the U.S. Marshals were joining the investigation because of the multiple jurisdictions involved. But even with their involvement, Ella's family and friends still felt like she was not a priority for them. According to them, in the days after Ella was reported missing, it seemed like they were the only ones really looking for her. And they were determined to find her. On March 9th, 2022, Ella Goodie left her home in Scott, Louisiana, to drive someone she had met to Houston, Texas. But when she never returned home, her family reported her missing. Surveillance captured her car traveling to Texas that morning. And then 12 hours later, it's again seen, but this time heading back to Louisiana. The efforts.
We have Louisiana State Police out here. We have Louisiana State Police Air Support had helped us out here. We have the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office, and we also have the Class Kids National Search Organization that's assisting with us next.
Unfortunately, after the search was finished, police said that they found no new evidence. But they said that they would continue to search in that area. From their...
All right, we're gonna leave it like that, man. This is just one of those sad stories, man. The story of Ella Goodie, man, went missing, man, took her last ride, and I believe she was unalive due to taking a client off the grid of the Lyft app, man. So y'all be careful, man. Make sure y'all let y'all family know, like, look, man, you taking somebody out of town, another city, let me know what's up. You know what I'm saying? And stay in contact with your people, because, you know, this could be you, man. So, yeah, man, I'll see you on the next video, gang. Let's go.